Welcome everyone to another episode of Fans Dugout. It's been an exciting phase so far with the second phase of IPL beginning from yesterday. And finally, we got to witness Chennai Super Kings win a match. It was a relief finally that Chennai got to win a match. And it's quite interesting how the table is right now. And it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the teams respond to see who goes into the playoffs and how they play from now on to make it to the playoffs. So today we're here for Rajasthan Royals versus Delhi Capitals. So this is going to be another interesting match as it can turn the tables around because Delhi are sitting on the second position of the table and Rajasthan are in the seventh. So it'll be interesting to watch how the match goes today. So let's begin with the Delhi fan in the house today. Welcome, Sunny. Last time out, your team performed well, actually very well, and it'll be interesting to see how your team plays tonight. So, what are your thoughts on how Delhi will play today?
Well, to be honest, Rishabh Pant is out for a week now, so that's a bit of concern for Delhi because that finisher job which Rishabh used to do is somewhere there. He left that spot for someone to do that job, and I think to be honest, I think they should think about sending Alex Carey up the order. He can be a devastating batsman because he has got good records in international cricket. Also in the BBL, also has done very well. So I think utilizing him properly would be what I'm looking forward to, and hoping that Rahane scores a century today against his former team.
Definitely. It'll be interesting to see if that happens. But let's move on to the Royals fans here today. Let's start with Mr. Surinder. What are you expecting from your team today? Given the last time that they didn't perform too well, do you think do you think things will change this time, or it's gonna be another Delhi win today?
It's time for revenge. That's what we're saying. It's time for revenge. Because I think, to be fair, in the last game, we didn't play that well and we won. So the mindset of the team is going to be different. And it's just really, if we can get the selection right, I think that's our big concern today. And also whether we can see the power play out, because I think that's where we have struggled. So get the opening sorted, and then it should be revenge time, I think.
Yeah. Moving on to you, Opian. Did you expect that they would send Ben Stokes to open in the previous match? What were your thoughts about that, and how do you think your team will perform today?
If you look at the way we have experimented with our opening order in the last 2 years as well, before, the world knew that Josh Butler is an established T20 opener, but we knew that sometime after playing 9 matches. And in fact, Jofra Archer and Ben Stokes had been made to open before we actually started sending Josh Butler to open for us in IPL 2018. Yeah. So I was actually surprised to see Ben Stokes back there again. Yeah. I don't know what will happen today. I think they might send Riyan Parag given his form in the last match. You never know with the Royals. Yeah. But I think that if you are using Uthappa, if you are keeping Uthappa in the team, might as well give him a chance in the place where he truly deserves to bat. Yeah. Butler should be asked to play his natural innings, which is just go aggressive. I think the Royals have got it wrong in the very first instance when they asked Butler to play the more composed player and they wanted Smith to be the more aggressive one. Smith is not someone who can bash from ball one. Butler can. And that's what they got wrong. So I think Butler should be asked to be the aggressor today. Uthappa or Riyan Parag, or if they listen to what the fans want, Manan Vora. Anyone who's an Indian right now should go up there and bat. That should be it.
Interesting.
As far as the opening is concerned.
Yeah. So let's move on to Mr. Tom. Tom, what are you expecting from Rajasthan Royals today? How do you think they'll perform in today's match?
Well, I think both the guys have said some really good points, but I think from the last game against Delhi, to restrict them to 160 odd or whatever it was, 180 odd, in a very small ground, I think they would have been very pleased with that first half performance with the ball. But where they failed to really live up to expectations has been with the bat, and I don't think yet they know what the right batting lineup is. Butler and Smith both got out to amazing catches by Hetmeyer, and those they were the moments for me that changed the whole result. So I'd actually like to see Butler bat at number 4. And try maybe have a couple of the younger Indian players up top, Smith at 3, and then have Stokes come in at 5. So 3, 4, 5 for the three big guns, and see if that happens. But the last game they actually had a chance to win, but batted poorly and made some poor decisions. So, and I think the other big key matchup is how they play against Ashwin.
Yeah,
because Ashwin has been such a formidable bowler, hardly conceding any boundaries at all. And I think he could be wound up. So I'd like to see him, somebody really have a go at him and see if they can get underneath his skin and upset his composure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch the Ashwin versus Butler matchup, because so far it's been Ashwin 2 and Butler 0. So let's hope that Butler gets one back today. And going on to you, Sunny, Delhi lost the previous match. So are you expecting any changes from your team, or do you expect them to stick to the same team that they played out last time?
Well, probably, I'm thinking of resting someone like either Rabada or Nokia, because, the halfway of the tournament has been concluded and halfway is remaining. So it's better to give rest to our main players like Rabada or maybe Nokia, and try someone like Daniel Sams, who has a very good record in BBL. Even in the death, he's a very good bowler. Plus, he can strike the ball very well. So I'm looking forward to, have someone and also he brings a left arm angle into play. So it will be good to see if Delhi makes that change. And also looking forward to, dropping either Prithvi Shaw or Shikhar Dhawan. I know Shikhar Dhawan scored 50 in the last game, but, he was very slow. He scored somewhat, I don't remember the exact runs, but he took a lot of balls to get to that score. If he would have scored somewhat around 75 to 85 in those 47 to 50 balls, then it would have been a different game altogether. And looking forward to Rahane opening the innings with Shikhar or maybe Prithvi. Then I'll bat Alex Carey at 3. Then Shreyas Iyer at 4, because he plays at number 4 for Team India. That will, stabilize the batting order, and that's the changes I would definitely like to see.
Yep, interesting. Going on to you, Mr. Surinder. What do you think? Should Delhi rest some of their main players and try to give other people a chance, or do you think they should stick to their winning combination and go all
as
in?
they lost the last game? I think they need to make a change, but the problem they've got is now the top 3 places have got 10 points.
Yeah.
They can't afford to, because I think for Delhi it's a must that they finish in the top 2, and then once they've secured the top 2 positions, then they can rest their players. Whereas today you look at it, Rishabh Pant's not playing, so that means Alex Carey will play. That means Hetmyer won't play. Yeah, I can't see Hetmyer playing because unless they drop one of the fast bowlers. But even if they drop one of the fast bowlers, I say, having watched the spinners bowl yesterday in Dubai, they might be better off getting Lamajani to bowl. So, but how are you going to fit him with Aksa Patel and things? So they've got the artillery, but it's just a problem. The problem they've got is who to drop. The fact is, if they drop Note or Rabada as an RR fan, we would be happy, because Daniel Sams coming in, is not a quality we know in Dubai, but in Australia, yes, he could be a strong bowler. But for our batsmen, the best thing would be not to see Notia or Rabada in their lineup. And Pant not being there gives them that left, that aggressive, and he's always played good against the rules in their history. So even not having that mental stress of facing Pant, because you don't know what you're going to get, that's not available. So it could be a good selection if for us.
Yep. Moving on to you, Pian. Do you think benching Rabada would be a good option for you? But I remember him taking 3 wickets in the previous match that he played against you. So do you think that will be something of an advantage to Rajasthan Royals today, or do you think they're still a threat without Rabada in their team?
DC is definitely a threat without Rabada. They have someone like the ranks of Mohit Sharma in their reserves, so it shouldn't be a problem. Of course, Mohit Sharma can't replace Rabada, but he's an international bowler. He's played in the World Cup, so you can really expect something good from him. The point I want to make is that if they bring in Sandeep Lamichhane, which can be a good option in place of Nortje or Rabada, because Rajasthan Royals has in their top 3 or in their top 5 3 foreign batsmen who are struggling against spin, who haven't faced spin much this season, and who are struggling against spin in this slowish surfaces. So it would be really wise to bring in Lamichhane, Akshar Patel, and there's Ashwin as well. So those 3 can create havoc for our batting in the first 5. So yeah, I would be expecting them to bring in Lamichhane. Also, I think Ricky Ponting is keeping in mind the work schedule of his fast bowlers. You don't want to lose out Rabat at the fag end of the tournament, especially when they have such great chances of qualifying. You don't want to lose out on Nortje as well. So he'll probably rest one of them, because Rajasthan, come what may, our batting doesn't really look that strong for their bowling attack. So I think they might just take their chances today.
Interesting. Moving on to you, Mr. Tom. Do you think what changes are you expecting from your team today? Do you think they should stick to the previous lineup that they played in the last match, or do you think they should make some changes to the lineup that they already have?
Well, there's a phrase in sports, isn't it? Don't change a winning team. But I think also in a tournament like IPL with different grounds, different surfaces, different opposition, there's a case to be made for looking at maybe a couple of changes. But I think everybody knows that the weakness, if there is one for the Royals this tournament, has been the consistency of the batting. So I'd like to just re-emphasize maybe changing the top batting pair and moving the 3 overseas batters into the top middle order, and then see if that makes a difference. I think bowling wise, I wouldn't say we need to make any changes. So and I think spin will make a big difference in this game, like the previous speaker said. I think spin will make a big contribution to the results of this game.
Yep. Moving on to you, Sunny. Yeah, sure. Sure. Okay.
Tom, would you want to bring Markande in the team for Rajasthan Royals? Like, would you want to play 3 spinners, or would you just want to change him in place of Gopal?
No, I think 3 spinners would be a really good shout.
Okay.
Moving
Yeah,
on
and
to
it's one of those things when we've got to look at the wickets now, because if you saw yesterday, batting second, it seemed that the wicket had completely changed from batting first. So in the night games, it's making a big difference. In the day games, I don't think it's making that much difference. But in the night games, it seems to be the team that's batting second. But we've got our issue is going to be our death bowling again, because the last two overs, one from Jofra, which you have to say, 20, he probably made some mistakes in that. But having Unadkat bowl the 20th over, I don't think that was wise. I think bowl him out by the 17th and then put somebody else in. So, but if they go for 3 spinners, they lose that option. So maybe Ben Stokes bowls 2 or 3 overs in this game.
So moving on to you, Sunny. With the likes of even Virat Kohli, who's known to be a master of the chase, even him, choosing to bat first in these in this seasons of IPL. Do you think today's toss will play an important role? Do you think your team should bat first today, or do you think they would like to chase a game today?
Well, to be honest, as the wickets are slowing up and as the tournament progresses, they're going to get even more slower. So it's better that we should, even if we win the toss, or somehow even if we tend to lose the toss, I hope that batting first comes in our favor, because that has been the trend in this tournament so far. The team batting first has won most of the matches, apart from few upsets that has been there. CSK beating KXIP comprehensively, masterclass from Watson and Faf. So that's a different thing. But batting first, putting runs on the boards, and Delhi have got the bowling lineup that can defend that total around 160, 170. They've got that lineup. So batting first should not be a problem for us. And they just need to sort out the batting order, and also Shikhar Dhawan needs to step up and play much more aggressively rather than taking a lot of time, because in T20 you don't have to take a lot of time, because that can actually cost you a game. So looking forward to Shikhar Dhawan batting quite aggressively, taking few balls, scoring more runs. That should be priority. And the kind of coach Ricky Ponting has been, I don't think he's gonna change up too much in the lineup. And as Upayan mentioned that resting maybe Rabada or Nokia would come in handy for Delhi Capitals as well, because that will give them another option. If someone like Daniel Sams or Lamichhane comes in today and they give a good performance, that will be a good point for us.
Sonny, wouldn't you open the batting with Stoinis? I say Stoinis was absolutely a revelation opening the batting for Melbourne Stars.
Yeah.
I think that might be a good move for Delhi.
Yeah, that might be a good move, but they have got quite a lot of headaches, because Shikhar Dhawan can't bat down the order, and Prithvi has been there in the opening only, so that is a problem for Delhi. But even in the if you look in the middle order, apart from Stoinis and Alex Carey, they don't have any responsible batter in the middle order, so that's the problem. See, Akshar has done well in the patches, but not in a long run. So I wouldn't take any chances, against Rajasthan Royals in this match, because see, Delhi are there in top two, but if they, tend to lose matches, they lose matches on a trot. So I don't want that thing to happen, and stick to the basics, get everything covered up, and perform accordingly.
And as you mentioned, Sunny, it's important to score runs at a faster rate, rather than sticking till the end. I guess De Villiers proved how that proved to be important in the match in RCB, because it was surprising to see Virat Kohli score his first boundary in the 19th over or in the 20th over. Like, he didn't manage to score a boundary till the end. But De Villiers, on the other hand, showed that he can take the game away just by playing aggressively. So I agree to the fact that, yes, I think the opener should
And
be
Nitin,
a little
I really, sorry, Nitin, I
Yeah.
really think in this IPL, like you saw yesterday,
Yeah.
sometimes not scoring a boundary isn't crucial, because the
Yeah.
ground, the Dubai and Abu Dhabi especially are so big. The amount of twos you can get on those pitches actually builds up the score, and then you can allow it. And again, the biggest thing that I'm finding is the batting is you've got to have the partnership. You've got to seem to have one guy that can rotate the strike and one guy that's hitting. And I think that's where Rajasthan Royals have really messed up, because they don't seem to know, we don't seem to know should be the aggressive one. Because soon as, like I say, when we look at the batting lineups, what we could do is basically have Samson or Butler opening with a Smith or a Uttapa, and then put the next batsman in who is likely the one that gets out quickly. So I think that's what I even mentioned that right at the start. I say if Butler gets out quickly, you can replace him with Samson, a like for like replacement. But if Smith gets out, you don't really want two hitters batting at the same time. I know it for the fans, it's probably sad to see, but you see Virat Kohli, he knew De Villiers was on fire. So all he did was rotate the strike, get the singles, and leave the strike into one pair. And I think that's where we could do it. And now we have Ben Stokes in our lineup.
Yeah.
If Ben Stokes gets, over two or three overs, then we've got that extra hitting power as well.
And also, it's better not to compare anyone with AB de Villiers, because that man is basically from different planet. He bats in different zone, because you never know what kind of play he's gonna do in that match and what kind of shot he's gonna play, because he has got all the shots, even the textbook shots and the unorthodox shots. So he's a complete T20 package, all in.
He's always a pleasure to watch, isn't he? So, moving on to European, who do you think will be the crucial player for your team today? Who do you think has a very important role to play for your team today?
Bowling wise, it's one person only. I mean, I don't see anyone else stepping up for us. It's Archer, of course. Batting wise, again, hoping that Josh scores high. Whenever Josh scores big, we tend to win more. We tend to it's a more happy dressing room out there. Steve Smith also needs to get a bit of, he needs to be in the runs as well. Personally, I think both of them have been unlucky in their own way, because Josh got both of his Sharjah innings, Josh got out against two very good catches, one by Sarfaraz, one by Shikhar Dhawan, and I think Steve Smith has been run out twice in the 7 innings that he's played. So hoping that a bit of luck is there on our side, and yeah, that's it pretty much.
Moving to you, Tom. Rahul Tewatia has been a revelation for Rajasthan Royals this season. I mean, we've seen two amazing performances from him, and in the end, and him stealing the game away, which you probably didn't thought you might win. So, do you think he might be a key player for you again today, or do you think you have better expectations from someone else in your team who can actually step up and not let the game go on till the end?
No, I think he's been a really exciting name that wasn't even on my radar before this tournament. So and I really like his passion as well. I like the fact that he's not afraid to show his emotion. So it really matters to him to do well. And that first game where he scored 3 off 18 balls and all the commentators were effectively writing him off was one of the most remarkable individual innings in any format of cricket I've ever seen. And credit to him, because to be able to go from a strike rate of such a low percentage to then hitting 5 sixes off one of the the strongest bowlers in the IPL tournament this year was just quite remarkable. And he has done it again, and also he's taken some very important catches, and he's bowled well. So yeah, I mean he could be a game changer, but he's not. I think he's growing into that role. But I think Surinder's point about roles for batters is very, very good. I don't really think the batting coach for the Royals has yet managed to get that magic combination of power hitting and accumulating of runs correct, and that's an issue. That's still a challenge for the Royals.
Yep.
And it's also the confidence of the batsmen. The thing is, because he is so confident, his game seems to be going on the other level. And like we saw with Ryan Paragan, we said it in one of the forums that he needed to be dropped. As soon as he's dropped, he's come in, and it took him a bit of time to settle down. But as soon as he got in, his strike rate, he wasn't even scoring a run a ball, but suddenly he knocked that 6 and everything clicked. So it seems like it just takes one moment in the T20 game, and then the whole dynamics of that player on the pitch, his confidence and stuff, all changes, and that makes it such an exciting thing. That's what I say. Even with JD and Adkat, we were thinking, wow, where's this bowling performance come out after 3 overs? But a lot of the fans were just saying, oh, he's going to get hit in the last one, and unfortunately he did. Otherwise, that would have been another tick in the box, because obviously with the Dubai wicket, the slow ball, the cutters, that kind of thing is working on there, and that's why I think we might have the edge on Delhi today, because obviously Delhi's is really pace heavy, so you've got 2 of the same, but we've got that bit of variation. Now Stokes is there, and I've seen Stokes in the last 6 to 8 months properly, and he seems to have added at least 10% more pace and the variety of his bowling, which might make him a super death bowler, where other teams might think, oh, he's not good at the death, but he's actually, and he's a massive partnership breaker. That he always seems to break the big partnerships, especially in the red ball game.
Yep.
One thing, do you think Tewatia should bat higher?
Personally, no. I think he's good where he is. Again, the thing is, if the top 3 tee off, right, he can play the finisher role. He can just carry on. If they do it, it seems to him and Parag. That's what I'm saying. Him and Parag seem to be more. Okay, let's get ourselves in. Let's see what the situation is, but do it. But again, it's easier doing that when you're chasing the runs, when you know what you got to do. Whereas if you're setting, that might be an issue then, because when do you press the accelerator? And that could obviously be there. And that's when your experience of the situation, the experience of the wicket takes forward. And that's it. Ryan Parag and Tewatia haven't got that experience to do that role. But whereas now we know Ben Stokes is there, and Ben Stokes could do that. So I would stick to the batting lineup. I would just look at the opening 3, or as Tom said, drop the foreign batsmen 3, 4, or 5. But the only problem today would be they would be facing most of Ashwin and Axar Patel's bowling, because I think Ashwin will bowl one in the power play, and Notia and Rabada, if they both play, will bowl the other 4. So realistically, do not lose wickets early on. Get past the power play, get past a couple of overs of Ashwin, and then target Axar Patel and Harsha Patel. I think Harsha Patel, he's the bowler that, if our batsmen are set, he's the one that will go after.
So moving on to you, Sunny, who do you think has a crucial role to play for your team today if they want to win the match today?
Well, to be honest, I think it's going to be our captain, because he has done that in the past few matches, and today is the day, he should step up, and also along with someone like Ajinkya Rahane, because Rahane is a very experienced player in the IPL, has got good records, more than 3,800 runs, 2 centuries for Rajasthan Royals. So it will be good if he scores one today against them, because that could come in handy for us, and eventually that will strengthen our position as far as playoffs are concerned.
Yeah, and as I say, like the way the results are going, you got to look at RCB, because I think they're having Chris Morris is like us having Ben Stokes. They've now got their bowling attack spot on, so they are a very dangerous team. And obviously, I think Mumbai Indians will finish in the top 2. And now suddenly, if I'm thinking Delhi's going to be up there, you're thinking RCB, and exactly the same for the 4th position. If we win today, we will move on to 8 points. We'll move on to 8 points. We'll move on to 8 points, and that'll be really good for us. So let's see how that goes.
Yep. So before we end, I just want to know your quick predictions on who will finish in the top 4. Who are you expecting to finish in the top 4? So let's start with Upian. Who do you think might make it to the playoffs, and who will be the top 4 teams that play it out in the second phase, after the end of the second phase?
Well, 2 teams seem to have almost confirmed they are probably a win or 2 away. The one is someone we're playing today, of course. Hope it doesn't come against us. Rajasthan, heart says Rajasthan, but realistically the chances seem dim, because that means you have to win 5 from the next 7. Trust CSK to bring us be a surprise factor. RCB also seems to have booked their chances. I think the fight will be between RR, CSK, KKR, and Sunrisers Hyderabad. Yeah, Sunrisers Hyderabad. Trust KKR to do well, because they're really having their luck at the moment. Dinesh Karthik, for some reason, he's got really good luck. Also, they've got the resources as well. So I think it will be probably KKR at number 4, maybe.
Yeah. So who would be your top 4? Mumbai, DC, RCB, and KKR? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Moving on to you, Tom. What are your predictions for the top 4 this season? Who do you think will finish in the top 4?
I probably wouldn't disagree with that. I just think you can't discount RCB. I think Surinder's point about Morris is a good one. And again, they're a team that just build on momentum. I think the 3 that are at the top at the moment, for me, are probably still going to stay there. But today's game is a big one that could influence that. So there's a long way to go, but I wouldn't discount RCB, and I just think that it's 5 wins out of 7 is a lot to expect from the position. But just take one game at a time, and just make sure that you get the first win today, and the Royals aren't out of it.
Yeah. And moving on to you, Sunny, who do you think will be your top 4 for this season?
Well, to be honest, top 2 are already there, Mumbai Indians and Delhi Capitals. I still feel, if something went horribly wrong for RCB, because they've got their net run rate in minus, and even KKR have got their net run rate in minus, that is 0.57. So I think, somehow I still feel that there is a chance for teams like SRH and CSK, and the records also say that these 2 teams have got that thing. They used to sneak out at the last moment in the playoffs. So somehow I feel RCB still need to make a big win so that their net run rate could be bolstered.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I think the net run rates can be critical in this game, and that's why I'm saying if we can win today, it's going to be very important. And then then it's against each other. As long as we beat our nearest competitors and we take points. Like if we win today, we'll move on to 8 points. That may basically, when we play CSK, it's a 4-point game swing. So that puts the pressure on CSK. And again, I think the other teams, I think we're all muchness because with talent, because there seems to be some problem. I think if Rajasthan Royals can sort out the batting order, we've now got Ben Stokes, which strengthens our team. Transfer windows up as well, so we could even do something in the transfer window, some business in the transfer window. I don't know what. Obviously, we'd like Rahane, but I don't know. I really think that the Royals could do it because, like you watched the match yesterday. Kane Williamson got that innings through, but the other batsmen didn't perform. Calcutta, Shubman Gill seems to be the one, and then you seem to have one other batsman come in. And Chennai, to be fair, I thought Sunrisers threw the game away yesterday because I think they should have chased it. But there's a lot of mistakes. The little mistakes, teams will get punished. But again, what we've got to do as Royals, we've got to basically win our games comprehensively. If we win the games comprehensively, get our net run right up, there's nothing stopping us finishing top 4.
Yep. I, for one, would be supporting the Royals today because I definitely want to see that competition and, the teams go for it. So it'll definitely be interesting to see if Rajasthan Royals win the match today and, set the ball running for the other teams to give their all as well. So it'll be interesting to watch.
It's really good. It's really interesting that we are getting this thing because, and now the wickets are getting slower. It's going to make exciting cricket. And I personally do like the lower run chases. So 130, 140, defending that. I think the type of cricket that we'll have in that is definitely going to be the one that is exciting for the fans. And I think that's what makes this IPL different. And if you see the PSL and stuff like that, we're already like 20 runs ahead what they were doing in the same stadiums. So the quality of the cricket is really, really high.
Yep.
I think what we need to ensure is that not give more than 40 to 45 runs in the last 5 overs. I mean, our last 5 overs are where we're screwing things up. Jofra, you need to save as many overs for him as possible, but it's not his job alone. I think probably use Kartik Tyagi or bring in Akash Singh, give the lad a debut probably. Unatkar or Stokes, I don't really see any of them being best death bowler, to be honest.
Yeah, death bowling is critical in this IPL. Yeah. And you saw yesterday the 2 overs that Jadeja and Dhoni got. Yeah. That was the 20 runs that they won the game by. So and they scored it right at the end. Whereas Sunrisers they ran out of batting, and as soon as Rashid Khan went out, that game was over. So it's really that death bowling and not getting 40 runs safe. Rajasthan Royals today concede 25 to 30 runs in the death overs. I'm sure they'll win the game.
That's too ambitious.
So, yes, Ani, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I was talking about the top 4. Sorry, I got disconnected. As I said, RCB, they, towards the end of the tournament, they have got that tendency, to lose matches, and they somehow managed to get out from the top 4. And SRH and CSK are the teams that have the tendency to sneak out at the last moment. So I think unless and until something goes horribly wrong for RCB and KKR, I don't think, for me, I think the current top 4 should make it to the playoffs unless and until something miraculous happens or something goes horribly wrong for those 2 teams.
So I guess that's it for today. Let's hope for an exciting match today, and hopefully we get to see a
Royals victory. That's what we want.
Allah ball.
I would want the Royals to win today, so it'll be interesting to see who wins today's match. So I hope we get to witness a great game of cricket today, and have a good day. And thank you so much for joining in today and having this chat with me. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
See you the next time.